So, once again, I'm going to vote. But once again, we have had another verdict where cops are not being held responsible for shooting an unarmed African American person while they were in their house sleep on a bullshit warrant, whatever the fuck it was. And now that they're having protesting in Louisville, I got no notification that ran across my phone saying that an officer got shot and the SWAT is on the scene. Do you? So when once we go out and vote, how many of y'all think shit gonna change? I'm just asking. So it's almost like we're beating a dead horse. Women had to fucking fight for the right to vote at one point, no matter what your color was. Remember that? African Americans had to fight, protest, and do all type of shit, get beat, and dogs sicked on them, was sprayed with water holes to get their civil liberties in this country. People with disabilities had to do the same thing. And then we still, women, minorities, and people with disabilities, still get mistreated and don't get real equality. So I also had this conversation to tie this in as well. And we complain about a lot of shit here in America. But you do realize that if we were living where it's like in other countries, we wouldn't. Like talking shit about our president and our government would be detrimental to our health. Everybody realizes that, all right? Now, just because you live in a place that you have a little more freedom than everybody else doesn't mean that it doesn't need to be improved. So Biden or Kamala Harris haven't said anything about, any police reform, um, doing anything about policing. And I mean, there's other issues that need to be addressed also. But you just gonna go vote, and these motherfuckers ain't promising us nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing. And we expect politicians to go and do what's best for the community, and all they do is do what's best for corporate America and the people that line their pockets with money. So again, if there's a fire burning, you're not gonna add more fire to it, right? And expect a different outcome. So when we go vote, we do realize that not much changes for us personally. I mean, if we were like we really need to come up with some real fucking demands when voting, and people ignore the shit. Whether if I bring it up or if anybody else, people literally ignore the shit because they so fucking tuned in. I think they're so think that they're doing something big for a lot of points to part because I'm voting. But you really not asking for fucking change. In the big scheme of things, you're not. You're wishing and hoping. I mean, like I don't like what the fuck like is going on with us as human beings that we really don't know how to like ask what the fuck ask for change but make change. Making change just ain't voting. I mean, come on, man. If you were a fucking football team and you keep running the same fucking plays and the defense is stopping it, you're not gonna keep on running the same plays and hoping that the fucking defense at one point will fall asleep or some shit for you to score a touchdown. You change shit up. We don't talk about we don't talk about privatization of prisons that need to stop happening. We don't talk about like money doesn't we don't talk about TV programming. Like 50 Cent got all of these fucking shows on TV, and a lot of this shit only perpetuates a stereotype. And people that like TV and shit don't influence people just like music. You a motherfucking lie. I mean, America was built on violence. But like for us to get real change to just going to the polls and voting it ain't gonna happen. Cause it ain't happened yet. But it's comfortable and something easy to say, well, I voted. Hillary Clinton won the last election. About 3 million votes. And she's not the president. I mean, a lot of people keep saying this time around that they don't think that Donald Trump is going to lose. And then they were saying that they didn't think he was going to win this first time around. So maybe it'll work the other way. But regardless of whatever it is, look at they creating all type of different laws and shit, and trying to stop people from protesting. And listen, anybody who thinks when the police officer gets shot in the midst of protesting and this and that, and then you all up in arms about it, they shot a police officer, they wrong. I mean, come on, man, we wouldn't be out here. The people wouldn't be out there protesting if motherfuckers was doing their jobs. And police officers and all this other bullshit went out here wilding out. You got to deal with that shit first before you just go straight to you shouldn't be shooting cops. Well, cops shouldn't be shooting unarmed people either, motherfucker. God damn. How does it feel to be a puppet? Because when you just to go with something because that's what you see and that's what you've been told, but you don't think that you just going, you a puppet. And this shit finna sound a little crazy. And listen, I'm not advocating and telling nobody to go shoot no motherfucking police officer. Don't take it this way. This is just me pointing out some shit. So it's this movie called Antebellum or whatever that's out. I had to watch this shit 3 times because I was lost for a minute. Then I had to consult with some people to figure out like what the fuck was going on. But it was a pretty good goddamn movie. You should watch it. You know how, we'll have conversations with like other African American people and shit like that, and they'll talk shit if I was back in the slave. If I was back in the days of slavery, I wouldn't have been no slave. I would have did this and I would have did that. You wouldn't have did a motherfucking thing but be a slave. Either you'd have been out there in the field or you'd been in a house nigga. Because if you so motherfucking tough and you want to put up with this and that, why, when police officers kill unarmed black people, aren't you doing anything? If you wouldn't have been a slave back in the day. It's the same fucking thing, so shut that shit up. And again, I'm not advocating no one to go out to shoot police officers, but I'm also not holding up motherfucking police officers going there shooting unarmed people. And for any police officer that you're on the force and you keep on saying that, well, I'm innocent and I don't believe that way, again, you need to quit the force or y'all need to start standing up and saying shit. And whatever comes behind that, deal with it. And hopefully the citizens have your back also. So all the police officers were acquitted or whatever fuck with this Breonna Taylor thing. Voting is coming up in November, and again, like I said, Obama didn't do shit about this. You think Biden and Kamala Harris gonna do anything about this shit? No. So again, what do we need and how do we get it? We as citizens need to stop looking towards politicians and start coming up with our own motherfucking ideas instead of just going out and vote. Hold these politicians' feet to the fire. But we're not going to do that because we are so comfortable with just going to the polls and saying, I voted and that's and this and that. But if a motherfucker was stomping on your motherfucking neck in your motherfucking house, you're not going to just sit there and continue to tell that motherfucker, would you please stop? Would you please stop? You're going to do something sooner or later to get these motherfuckers off your neck. And as citizens, when the fuck are we going to do something? It ain't even got to be violent. So stop talking. I can't wait till this fucking election is over with. And I want to see what the fuck happens after it's over with. And then when we don't get anything that's any different than what you motherfuckers going to say. This shit is ridiculous. I'm just fucking saying it's ridiculous.